Penguin Random House Audio presents The Go-Giver Leader, a little story about what matters most in business. Previously published as It's Not About You, by Bob Burg and John David Mann. Read for you by Bob Burg and John David Mann, with Ana Gabriel Mann. Introduction. A few years after The Go-Giver first appeared, an idea occurred to us. By this time, our little story about a powerful business idea had traveled around the globe in translation and gathered quite a following here in the States. Companies large and small were using the book to create a go-giver culture and increase their business. We had put out a second book, a nonfiction companion volume titled Go-Givers Sell More, which featured vignettes of a few dozen people's real-life experiences to address the question, this all sounds great, but do things really work that way in real life? The answer, in a word, is yes. Bob was training people around the world to become certified go-giver speakers. Schools were even starting to use the go-giver in classrooms, and we were starting work on a go-giver curriculum guide for teachers. A lot was going on. And yet it felt like Pindar still had more to say. Pindar, of course, is the mysterious mentor character from the first book, the one who introduces our struggling hero Joe to the 5 laws of stratospheric success, which all revolve around the idea that a giving mindset is the key to a rich and fulfilling life. One of those 5 laws is the law of influence, which says that your influence is determined by how abundantly you place other people's interests first. We thought Pindar would want us to expand on that he and his friends would have something to say about leadership. With so many great books and teachings on leadership already out there in the world, we asked ourselves, was there a compelling reason for us to add to the pile? Well, what would Pindar say to that? He would support those great books and their teachings for sure. And yet, Pindar being Pindar, he would also add his own perspective to the question of what makes great leadership. No doubt turning conventional thinking on its head and finding something paradoxical at its center. As he says in The Go-Giver, inside every truth and every appearance, there's a bit of opposite tucked inside, just to keep things interesting. During those years, quite a few readers had also been asking us, how do go-giver ideas work in the realm of leadership? What does a go-giver leader look like? This book is our effort to answer that question.
We wrote this story and published it in 2011 under the title It's Not About You. This title seemed to nicely echo the core idea of the go-giver, that shifting one's emphasis from getting to giving, from a me focus to an other focus, leads to greater and often unexpected returns. Made perfect sense. Or at least we thought it did. That wasn't how others saw it, though. Many read the title, It's Not About You, and thought, well, if it's not about me, I suppose there's no point in my reading it. We soon realized that the book's title didn't make clear what the book was actually about. So our incredibly supportive publishing partners at Portfolio Penguin agreed to let us retitle the book and give it a new cover, creating the audiobook you're now listening to. We've also made some revisions to the story itself, especially in its concluding chapters, and in Ben's 5th and final key to legendary leadership. This has allowed us to better capture in words just what it was that Ben finally learned, what lies at the heart of Pindar's leadership secret. We are thrilled to be able to bring the true heart of the story to light and share it with you. Because the truth is, it is about you. It's about you and about what happens when you focus on making it about others. It's about how the best way to increase your own influence is to give it away. Pindar's paradox. This little story is about some big ideas, vision and empathy, influence and character, loss and triumph. Yet the best of these are but words and abstractions until they are breathed to life through flesh and blood experience. That's where you come in. You may not be a CEO, prime minister, or president. You may not be the head of your organization or boss of your company. But even if you don't happen to occupy a traditional leadership position, that doesn't mean you're not in a position to influence others, to inspire and empower others, to be the catalyst for others' greatness, to champion their success, to hold them up. In other words, to give leadership.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?